This is Behemoth At Home, a fitness program for everyone, anywhere you're at. We're gonna open up with 3 rounds of our warm-up today. 8 single arm, bent over rows. 30 high knees in place, that's 15 per side. We're gonna do 4 to 5, one arm presses overhead, and we're gonna do 3 rounds of that. So let's take a look and see what those movements are gonna look like today. All right guys, today, so for our bent over rows, we're gonna pick our dumbbell up, make sure that we go into a good hinged position. That means we're pushing our butt back, we got a flat spine. If you notice, my weight is inside of my legs, and I'm gonna slightly turn my thumb out to create what we call external rotation of the shoulder. I'm gonna drive my elbow back, pulling the weight to my body, okay? We're gonna do 8 repetitions per arm there, okay? Next thing that we're gonna do here is high knees in place. We're gonna put our feet into a comfortable position. We wanna set our arms at about 90 degrees. And we're gonna think about pumping at our shoulder rather than curling our hands up or rotating our upper body, all right? As we do so, we're gonna drive our knee up, our opposite knee of the arm that's pumping, to about hip height. It's gonna look like this. Okay, the faster I pump my arms, the faster my legs are gonna have to move. We're gonna do 30 total reps, that's 15 per side. Next and final movement is 4 to 5, one arm presses per arm. Same dumbbell you used on your rows, bells on the shoulder, good front rack position. I like to put my arm out, my offside arm out to create some offside stability, and I'm only using my arms pressing overhead. Bicep in line with the ear, overhead, rib cage neutral, glutes are squeezed, and I'm always slower on the way down than up, okay? I'm gonna do 4 or 5 per side. The reason that we give a range there is because if the weight's a little challenging and you wanna stop at 4, that's fine. If you wanna do a little extra, 5 is where you're at. So let's talk about our training session today. 25-minute AMRAP, 200-meter run, 20 alternating dumbbell squat cleans to overhead, and then we're gonna do 40 double taps or 40 double unders. We're gonna be working for a long period of time today, so we want you to choose an option or a intensity option to where you can sustain for the 25 minutes. All right, we're working aerobically, which means that we want to be able to breathe, we want to start at a lower intensity, and we really want to start and finish at the same intensity, okay? When we're looking at some of these movements, we want to choose options that are going to allow us the highest movement quality, okay? Today is a great opportunity to use your breath as gears. Think about gear 1 being nasal only, breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Gear 2, which is a little bit more intensity, is going to be in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then gear 3 is going to be mouth only. We really want to stay away from gear 3, which is mouth breathing. And today, working at the duration that we are is a great opportunity for you to stay into gears 1 and 2. Let's take a look at these movements on our 25-minute AMRAP today. Okay guys, so for our 200-meter run, ideally get outside, get some sunlight, enjoy the elements, run 200 meters. If you don't have a 200-meter course, take 100 long strides out, measure the distance mentally, and then come on back, and then that can be your course for the day. If we don't have a 200-meter course and we would rather run in place or do a stationary option, we can run in place for a minute, counting our steps, and then replicating our steps every time we come back to that 200-meter run. We can do a plate tap, where we have one foot onto an object. It could be a plate or a dumbbell. We can do the same thing, 1 minute of plate taps, counting your reps, replicating each time you come back. For the most part, we want some sort of kind of monostructural option there. A bike is a great option, a row is a great option. A safe bet is going to be a minute on those objects or those pieces of equipment, and then replicating that time, or excuse me, that distance every single time you come back to it, all right? On our alternating dumbbell squat cleans to overhead, think about this as like an alternating dumbbell squat clean thruster. So we're going to start from the ground. Obviously, if we're limited in our standing toe touch test, where we cannot reach the ground with our knees locked out, then staying from the hang is going to be the probably safest option for you. We're going to have great posture through our spine. All right, we're going to stand, extend our hips, come up to the shoulder, full squat, and then finish overhead. All right, back to my opposite arm, same thing. I can switch on the ground if switching in midair is too challenging for me. And if I need to, I can pause at the top, squat, and then go overhead. I can use additional pauses to break those movements up if those movements are a little too skillful for me. I'm going to do 20 alternating reps, 10 per side. Things I want you to focus on are extending our hips to get the bell up to our shoulders, using our hips and our legs to drive the weight up, making sure that the weight is on our shoulder before we start our squat, hitting our full squat range of motion, and finishing it in a good overhead position. When we switch arms, making sure the arm extends before the body bends to get to the ground. 20 alternating reps, 10 per side, and then finally we have our double taps. 40 double taps in place, elevating and slapping our leg 2 times before we hit the ground. Alright? If you have a jump rope and you're proficient in double unders, you know you can do 40 reps in no more than about 2 to 3 sets. Use that as an option. Today's even a really good option to work on the skill, knowing that we're working for a long duration of time. However, if you incorporate the rope and you feel like you're breaking more times than is desirable, or you're resting more than you're working, take the rope away and let's downgrade the skill a little bit to a double tap. If you don't have a rope, the double tap is the most ideal option for the day because it is the closest equivalent to the physical and metabolic feeling of a double under. All right? However, if a double tap gives you pain within your ankles, knees, or hips, or there's some sort of physical issue there, single unders for double the reps, 80 reps, or single taps for about 80 reps is going to be a good option and a good substitution there. We're going to cool today's session down with some crocodile breathing. So when we're focusing on the crocodile breathing, this is a really good opportunity to get some neural feedback on are we breathing appropriately. By laying face down in that prone position, we can really focus on diaphragmatic breathing, creating 360 degrees of expansion and removing a lot of those poor breathing mechanics away from the chest and shoulders. Let's take a look at what this movement looks like. Okay guys, for our crocodile breathing, I'm going to talk you through it before I show it to you, but I'm going to be laying face down. We're going to put one hand into a fist and the other hand on top. We're just going to place the forehead onto the palm so that our mouth isn't on the ground. We're going to breathe only through our nose because that's going to immediately allow us to use more of our diaphragm. And we're going to focus on nasal breathing in, nasal breathing out, long inhales, long exhales. The big focus here is making sure that we're feeling our belly expand to the ground, pull away, but also, are we expanding through our obliques? Are we expanding through our erectors? And are we removing a lot of those poor breathing mechanics from our shoulders, our traps, our scalenes, and our chest? Okay? Let me show you what this is going to look like. So if you notice, I'm in a really relaxed prone position there, and I'm getting all of that physical and tangible feedback from lying on my chest. Now, we're going to do this for 2 to 3 minutes. Allow yourself some time to focus on your breathing, recover, rest. You did a lot of work today, so this is a great opportunity to start sending those signals to our nervous system that it's time to rest and recover. Really hope you guys enjoyed that training session, and we're looking forward to you joining us again soon.